when I was studying for the book Nurture, and I looked up the word intuition, I actually found out the word intuition means intuer, or in the Latin is intuer, but it means inward tutor. And so the Holy Spirit is our inward tutor. And when we get a new heart, it begins to teach us. But, you know, there's been instances where everything looks right and feels wrong.
Right.
With a person or with a situation. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. Every time I've not listened to that inward tutor, and everything was wrong in here, even though everything looked right out here, it's been a snare, it's been a trap for me.
And is that usually when you have an initial response that you reason away?
Yes. Yeah. So in other words, usually that initial response is the Spirit of God, and also it's when I've ignored your counsel. You know, let me say this to the husbands and wives, and you're probably going to get upset what I'm about to say.
Why?
When we were first married,
You do that on camera?
We were first married. I would pray like an hour and a half a day. And my observation,
I was working full time.
My observation of Lisa, she prayed 10 minutes in the shower. And there was a bunch of things that I said, I really feel like we're supposed to do this. I really feel like we're supposed to do that. And she would say, I don't feel that. And she would be right on half of them. And I was so frustrated. I was like, God, one day I went out, I said, I pray an hour and a half every morning. She prays 10 minutes in the shower.
I take longer.
She's right on more than half of these things. And the Lord spoke something to me. He said, draw circles. So it was back in the days of paper and pencil, not iPads. So I drew a circle on a piece of paper, and the Lord said, put X's all over the circle. So I started drawing X's all around the circle. He said, now draw a line right down the middle. I said, okay, I drew a line right down the middle. He said, do you notice about half of the X's are on this side and half of the X's are on this side? I said, yeah. He said, when you were single, you were complete in me and yourself. He said, but you became one flesh with Lisa. He said, so that circle represents you and Lisa. You're that left half. She's that right half. He said, do you know what the X's are? I said, what? He said, that's information you need from me to make wise decisions. He said, the problem is you're making all your decisions based off of half of the information. He said, you need to learn how to draw out of your wife what I show her so that you can make a decision as the head of the home with all the information I'm showing you. So with that intuition, I will say, yes, it's come back to bite me. I felt that initial, ignored it, yeah. But there's been times you've said things to me I knew deep down, because what does he do? He bears witness. Right. You've said things to me before, and this happens maybe 1 in every 2 years, 5 years even. And I'll go, that's not faith motivated, that's fear speaking. And I have to go, I'm not going with that. But most of the time when she speaks, deep down in here, I go, darn it, she's right. And if I ignore that, then I pay a price. She doesn't, I do.
I think he's being very generous. I think I'm probably way wrong, way more than that, you know. But I want people to understand that, you know, when God speaks something to them, they can trust that.
Yeah.
They actually are saying that they're being led by the Spirit is actually way more precognitive than we actually understand. And when we jump in with our own reasoning and begin to second guess things, we're actually not doubting ourselves, we're actually doubting God. When God begins to say something to us, we need to stay with it and just go with it.